There's player vs player. There's player vs environment. Then there's player vs the miles and miles of terrain you have to run just to get anything done. Hey everybody, I'm David, and this is the kind of guide that will take forever discussing every little detail to decide use the fire staff and rapier, and dodge cancelling, with the dexterity buff and stamina ring. Use everything in this specific order for max speed, or spend whatever's off cooldown. That's it! Okay, we actually will go over everything. So if you don't want to remove any of that heavy armor, get dexterity, the stamina ring, and swap weapons just to get around, we're going to cover all movement options for travel, or for chasing and escaping PvP people. And we pray to the almighty Bezos for no speed nerfs, so this info stays valid at least for a while. So for starters, no matter what armor you're wearing, everyone should know how to dodge cancel the right way. That is, to unequip or swap weapons to remove that stationary ending animation of dodges. And since there's a wind up time before stationary players can run at full speed, all dodges, even heavy dodges, which move just as quick as running, are useful to propel you into that max speed run. And I can confirm with my little 50-meter run test. Since speed can be deceptive, I've averaged out 3 time trials per potential speed move to show which method of running is the fastest. It's not accurate in determining travel speed, but will be useful in ranking the weapon's ability dashes later in the guide, where I will also have a little number to represent time saved over flat running, which adds up in the open world over time. I found my testing to be actually pretty consistent in my crazy little way. This is mainly thanks to the game having command buffering, meaning if your character is busy, say from rolling or finishing an ability, your button inputs will linger around for about a second and activate as soon as possible. That means we don't have to time our sheaths and dodges perfectly for consistent full speed results. I just click and swap weapons straight after to consistently dodge cancel, and mash the dodge key towards the end of dash abilities. Although, one crucial thing to avoid is losing stamina, since you run slow while the grey bar refills. So keep it yellow. So the most effective movement is to roll once, wait for stamina to reach above 50, then roll again. The only time it's okay to lose stamina is if you combo dash abilities in a way where you're not running in that set time. I also think now's a good time to point out how speccing into dexterity can reduce dodging costs, allowing you to double roll or triple sidestep everywhere instead. This gets even better with the hardy perk on rings, but please continue to dodge cancel even when chaining rolls or sidesteps together, as sheathing a weapon will still remove some stationary ending lag. There's also a ton of minor perks you can get on equipment and weapons that aren't worth mentioning, but still worth listening for an everything guide. Just note that the minimum and maximum values are determined by the item's gear score. I think identical perks can stack on different equipment, but some don't, and it's really difficult to research, so maybe for another video. For weapon buffs, most of them including haste from abilities or perks will either vanish when sheathing the weapon or when switching weapons, so take note dodge cancelling can cancel some effects. But it's still normally quicker than relying on haste if you can roll. Technically increasing crit chance can help some abilities gain haste or a cooldown reduction too, but that's a bit too tedious to list, at least for this vid. Alright, before I go into detail about each weapon, I want to point out some abilities that might deceptively look a bit quicker than running, but no, they suck for getting around. Ew! No! Oh, get a bit of speed and stamina. Too slow. And Quick Frost allows Ice Storm, Shower, and Pylon to provide a speed boost, which is all ear. And for anything to do with the hammer or void gauntlets, no dice. But technically the hammer can give you the most haste, but you know. Thus, all these weapons listed can't improve your travel time at all. Some of the dashes might be useful in water, since most things beat walking, but that's a little too tedious to research. Better yet, let's go over the weapons in my order of best mobility, which does vary from the time trials, since I'm considering cooldown times, consistency, and a few other factors. You'll see. Just note that all dash tests have a heavy dodge to cancel that pesky walking wind up, and they all begin with a walking start to keep it all fair. First is the Rapier. Now, Fletch isn't the longest dash or the quickest, but it has a pretty short cooldown with no ending lag. And if you see an enemy, Quick Lunge allows you to recast 80% quicker. Mixed with refreshing Felch and Red Curtains, a backstab will reset the cooldown. Then there's Evade, which gives a nice haste boost that is only removed from swapping weapons, not sheathing. What makes the Rapier the best is that 20 stamina from Breathe In, which greatly increases dodge frequency for light and medium armor users, especially with the Hardy Ring, allowing for triple rolls. Just never use Evade without cancelling its ending animation with a dodge, since it's really slow and causes you to walk for a while. I know it can feel convoluted at times, so if you evade with no stamina, you can sheath your weapon to remove a bit of the walk at least. I admit, the Rapier is quite click intensive and is easy to make mistakes, so it's only the best with light and medium armor for those extra dodges. Thus, you might prefer going with the Fire Staff, as Burnout with Heated Up creates a huge dash. Additionally, combat speed provides some decent haste which is only lost from swapping weapons. The haste isn't worth it with other spells though, due to the stopping time. Oh, and try to hit enemies with the dash to lower its cooldown by 5% per enemy. The next best dash is from the Great Axe's Charge. It has the same cooldown as Burnout and looks like it travels quicker with less animation lag, but from my tests, which didn't even include the haste buff from the Fire Staff, Rush just wasn't as quick. Although it does end its move quicker to allow you to get back to rolling faster, but by itself, slow. Additionally, the Bloodlust passive can be nice, especially with certain wild animals that run away from us, since according to the game, anything we can hit is our enemy. Now for consistent movement speed. The bow is the best. Dodge and Weave provides 10% haste, which works even when the bow is sheathed. Additionally, Archer's speed will apply when sheathing or swapping weapons, and is the only weapon haste buff that still takes effect when wielding a different weapon. What's great is when dodge cancelling into the bow or out, the game recognizes this as switching and rolling with the weapon, so both these buffs can take effect straight after dashing with another move. It also might be nice to path closer to enemy groups to trigger Catch Me If You Can. Now the Musket. For movement, it's a slightly worse version of the bow, as it has a longer roll buff, but no other bonuses, and since rolling is so frequent, the extra second isn't that much better at all. Still good though. Sword and Shield has Lunge. Lunge is pretty good. With a much longer cooldown, the Hatchet is interestingly okay-ish. Berserk with On the Hunt gives 20% haste, but it kinda sucks as it's lost when sheathing, so it is only quicker to use in heavy and medium armor. What's really cool is Feral Rush over big cliffs. It's the only dash to persist longer from falling, and since it has a decent diagonal trajectory, the higher the cliff, the more time you can save with this move. It can be a little buggy right now, and the two attacks do slow down its value, but, well, it is useful, and I like it. Less so is the Spear. It is the light roll maester with strong conditioning, giving a 30% regen boost when under half stamina. This is fairly small, and worst of all, requires the weapon to be in hand, requiring a ton of brain power to ensure you're always pulling out the spear on the regen cycle. It can be as good as the musket when double rolling, so it's okay if you have the ring with no other mobility options, but yeah, it's still not the best. Now, I didn't actually test this till much later, but it seems the life staff can give a little speed when healed, which can be more regularly done by draining your own HP with the Void Gauntlets. It's not the best, but at least it makes the list in saving time. What's crazy is that all these abilities still can't keep up with 3 measly rolls. So yeah, light armor is the best time saver of all, but when we're waiting for stamina to come back for our rolls or sidesteps, these other options are still good. I won't go over all possible combos, but the best is with the Hardy Ring and 150 Dexterity, where you use Evade to roll 4 times and drain all your stamina, followed by Fletch and Burnout. By then you should be able to roll again, then spam whatever. If you don't have the Dexterity buff and Ring, 3 rolls is still second best. This works for medium armor too. Another method, which is better for heavy armor wearers, is to use Rush with Burnout second to get that little bit of haste. Of course, if you've spec'd these weapons for their actual combat abilities, I'm sure you can compromise with different weapons and moves for travel. So really, overall, in conclusion, ultimately, if you plan to travel over a long stretch, I recommend using light armor first, then investing in mobile weapons to switch to over long journeys. But the best time saver of all is good planning with inns and houses with a well thought out map route. Yeah. I'm getting pretty invested in this game, and if I'm going to be looking up a ton of stuff in it, I might as well share the info. So if you guys enjoy this sort of guide style, just leave a comment and I might do more. Or I don't really know what's lacking out there in the YouTube world, because most guides I see, they're just too long and hollow of information. So yeah, let me know what's in demand and I might make it.